Hey everyone, it's Nick from Lifetise. Today I'm going to show you how our Home Find app was used by someone renting a flat in Brixton to buy their very own flat in South London. They wanted to know where can they afford to buy a one-bed flat, how quickly can they buy, and how will the cost of the mortgage compare to what they're currently paying in rent. So without further ado, here's exactly how they did it. So first up, they were a first-time buyer, buying on their own, and they had an annual salary of 48 grand. We were then able to show them what their maximum mortgage was likely to be. So in this case, it was around £216,000. And then from this, on the next screen, we could give them an estimate on what that means as far as the affordability level they have. How much could they afford to spend on a flat? And that was based on a standard 10% deposit. And in this case, so that was £240,000. This is all totally eligible, right? If you wanted to have a go yourself, you can play around with these numbers to your heart's content, but we'll stick with the 240 grand and the 10%, which is the standard level. This meant for them that they would need to save £27,000 in order to cover the deposit and a few other costs such as solicitors and surveyors. So then the next bit was asking how much money they've got saved. In this case, he had a couple of grand already saved up, which some pretty simple maths showed that he had £25,000 left over to save. Then the question was, when do you want to buy? And look, I mean, for most people, the answer to this is as soon as possible. They just don't know when that is. What they do know roughly is how much per month they can afford to stash away. So we use this to show them how long it will take to save up to buy their home. In this case, he thought he could save £500 per month. So all you do is you play about with the dates, and you'll see how this changes here. Little tip: use the years. It makes it a whole lot quicker. So we're trying to get £500. Okay, so bang on. So in this case, it's saying if you save £500 per month, then he'd be able to buy in, I mean, you're talking 4 years' time. But what he actually did was he realized he could cut back on a fair few not so essential spends in order to save probably another sort of couple of hundred to £250 more. If he really focused on saving for a deposit, he realized he could actually save £750 per month. So in that case, we're looking for 750. You could see, so it's September 2022. Significant difference. Now, the observant ones amongst you will see that we now have the ISAs available. So if we were to use a LISA, it's a lifetime ISA, it means that the government will give you a top up to whatever you save. And the key for this is that it will show you how much quicker you'll be able to purchase. So keep an eye on the date, because when I click on LISA, you'll see it goes down to May 2022. So if they were to save sort of roughly £750 per month using a LISA, then they'd be able to buy in a little bit under 2.5 years' time. This screen would then give an idea on what the mortgage repayments are likely to be. So again, based on the figures they've entered up here, this would be an estimated interest rate, which means you're talking about £900 per month. They currently pay £950 a month for renting, so actually it's a little bit less than what they pay. All of this is editable, by the way, so you could change the deposit level, the interest rates, even the mortgage duration if you wanted to, and see the effect that it would have on here. I'm not going to do that right now. So then, moving through to the fun bit. Just before then, this is where you get to save your progress. This means that you'll be able to come back and carry on from where you left off without having to redo the figures all the time. And here is where we start to get to the map. This is a bit people talk about. So what we do is that we're asking here for the type of property, size of property, and where you're looking to buy. In this case, he was after a 1-bedroom flat, so those are already set, and he currently lives in Brixton, which is SW2. Put in SW2, and then you click here, and it will zoom into that location. Now, bit of a change, so I'll explain what's happened here. This color coding is all completely set based on these figures here, right? So it is a 1-bedroom flat at 240k max, and this is the affordability that you see here. So what this means, anything from red, which as you can see in central London here, means absolutely you're just not going to get anything at those price, to bright green, which means that there's lots and lots of properties available at this price level, and then the colors in between, the oranges and the paler green, which means a certain proportion are affordable. So where they currently live, Brixton, SW2. Unsurprisingly, it's showing a deeper orange, which means that the majority of properties out there are not affordable at this level, but there are some. So if you were to go down to here, I'll just tell our friend, just go away. See, the average price for a 1-bed in Brixton is 350 grand. It is an average, so you can get, properties can be a lot more expensive or a lot less expensive than that. In order to actually see some properties, click on the big button here, and what it will do is it'll open up a tab to Zoopla. But this tab in Zoopla is specifically set based on the details which you just put into Home Finder. So SW2, which is Brixton, flats, 1-bedroom, and then critically no more than 240 grand. So this means it's in the location, the type of property, but it means that they are affordable. So what we see here, shared ownership. Yeah, so you might find 1 or 2 properties at the lower sort of quality end, but you'll also find that you can get some shared ownership options as well, which is a perfectly viable option if you want to consider that. You can, the one which jumps out here, of course, right next to Brixton is Dulwich, and it's bright green, so it's for the vast majority of properties. Click on there, as you can see, over 1-bed flats, 194, it's a lot less. Click on see properties, and again, SE21, which is Dulwich, 1-bed flats at 240 grand, and again we got a shared ownership one there, but under here, 1-bedroom flat, 195, well under our budget. In Dulwich, you can have a little look around. Seems like quite a nice place. And again, you can scroll down, have a look at the other ones which are available in Dulwich, some at a very affordable level. It's probably the most likely location, but we can see what else. Streatham, just south of Brixton. Click on here, average, a little bit less than Brixton. Opens up another tab, SW16, 1-bed flats. And what do we have here? Fantastic 1-bedroom flats around their house. Impressive station with a private garden. So click on here. Yeah, needs a bit of work, that garden, but again, perfectly decent starter flat. I think that one looks like it's probably the same. Same block, different flat. Looks quite nice. I'm liking that sofa actually. Okay, so you've got options there, and then you can go into the Norwoods, West Norwood, Upper Norwood. See, Upper Norwood a little bit cheaper. Go on here, click on and see all the properties which are available to you. So what that leaves you with, and you could keep going. I mean, if you wanted to, you could go a little bit further south. Once you get into the Croydon area, you can see that the vast majority of 1-bed flats are going to be affordable at level. I'm not going to look for every single 1-bed flat in South London. You can do that for yourself. What you're left with, though, is lots of tabs full of properties which are relevant to you, but also critically that they are affordable for you as well. Now, in this case, if the fellow wasn't in a position to buy immediately, it was going to be a couple of years. So these properties most likely wouldn't be available then, but he's got an idea of what he would be able to afford at that time in order to motivate him, in order to be able to save what he needs to in order to reach that goal. And just so you can see, you can zoom out. And if you wanted to see for 2-bedroom flats, the difference, you just go up here for number of beds and you toggle to 2. It zooms back in, and you see how the screen just got a lot darker, right? Particularly in London, there's a pretty big jump between 1- and 2-bedroom flats in the price range, so there's not going to be a lot available. But the key point is the map completely responds, and you could do that with changing from a flat to a house. and all of these figures as well are totally editable, and you'll find that the map will immediately change for you. So, you can have plenty of fun there. Once you've taken a good look round, you click on next steps. It takes you to your dashboard, and in this case what he could do was all of those numbers he's just created, you can see them here, right? This is a plan with those numbers. So 240k is for maximum house price. He's got an annual salary of 48 grand, mortgage level 216. These are all the numbers he's created. And then here are those numbers explained in plain English. Not everyone likes a sheet of numbers, so this is where it's explained for you. You can email yourself a copy, or you can click to download a copy if you want as well. Let's see here. Cool. Right. And then also on the dashboard after that, if you haven't saved your progress already, you've got another chance to do so. You can get a mortgage estimate. You click on here and you can actually go through, put a mortgage application in, set payday reminder. So you tell us what day of the month you want to be reminded. In this case, we would have told him to save, was it £757 each month. We can do the same for you. Get a savings account, click on there, it'll give you some options. Check your credit score, which is going to be important, obviously, for getting a mortgage. And then again, you can click on here and it will take you to Zoopla. You've also got other life events, which you can take a look at, which we're not going to do right now. So I just want to go back. Remember that what he was asking for was to answer some specific questions. Where can he afford to buy a flat in South London? Well, there's plenty of affordable one beds, particularly in Dulwich, but also Streatham and in the Norwoods. And if he'll consider shared ownership, there's several options, even in Brixton itself. How soon could he make that happen? Well, actually a little bit under 2.5 years if he was to stretch himself and save £750 a month using a lifetime ISA. And how will the cost of a mortgage compared to what he's currently paying in rent? Well, actually a little bit less than what he's paying, and that's at his sort of higher level. If he took one of those Dulwich flats at actually less than 200 grand, then he'd probably find that his mortgage repayments are quite a bit less than what he's currently paying in rent. So that's about it. Look, this demo, we recorded it on a desktop, but Home Finder does work on your phone as well. We just make a few changes there to accommodate a smaller screen. Feel free to share if you know anyone who is looking to, actively looking to buy a home, or is really thinking about it, or even sort of wondering if they can afford somewhere. This really shows you it is possible. You just got to know where to look. And if you found it useful yourself, please hit the like button. If you've got any questions or any comments you want to make, put them down below. Until next time, see you then.